podcast that explores the rearview mirror situation in this country. And we are going to be, I'm your host, James Battistelli. We're going to be joined today by my co-host. I met him today. He's a lovely man. I don't know your last name.
O'Brien.
Declan O'Brien. What kind of Irish shit is going on in this place?
Yeah.
That is amazing. I mean, no, I'm half Irish, so like, blood brothers.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But yeah, Declan is just, I talked to him a lot today, and he's a wonderful guy. And like, I can tell up front right away. But we also were played in today by our friends, Ray and Erica of Velvet Snow. Wonderful band. You should check out their stuff. And we're going to talk to them in a bit. They're going to play for us later on as well. We're going to be joined today by, hold on one second. Is that on?
Yeah.
Okay, I shouldn't have stopped that. So I'm just going to keep going.
That's all right, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I tripped. Yeah, so we're going to be joined today by two gentlemen here at Rec Philly who are doing big things. The first is going to be Octavio Gonzalez. I met him a few weeks ago, and he's another hard-hitting, hard-working young man. He does a lot of good things with local volunteer work, with teaching soccer to little kids and stuff. But he's going to tell you more about what he's into these days. And then we're going to be joined by Jameer Fayal. I think I got that right. He's going to yell at me later if I didn't. But he's going to be joining us first, actually. But he's a fashion designer, and he does tremendous things with all kinds of useful finds in thrift stores, etc. But let me get things started here. In World Nautical News earlier this month, an article was published in the World Nautical Gazette that states that sonar assisted in the discovery of a long-lost ship in the Labrador Sea off the coast of Labrador, Canada. Sorry, I don't have his teleprompter. The ship, named Quest, belonged to Ernest Shackleton, he's an explorer, and was lost at sea for 62 years before its wreck was discovered off the coast of Labrador, Canada in 2024, having sunk in 1962 due to ice damage. When reached for comment, Ernest Shackleton said, "Get off my arse, I died in 1922. He then went on to say, "You should have just asked my wife. That woman knows where I leave everything." Truth be told, that ship was discovered in June 2024, but I wasn't doing the podcast then, so, gotta find material somewhere. Have you ever been to Labrador, Canada, Declan?
No, but Ernest Shackleton did live down the road from me in Dublin.
Did he?
Yeah, well, there's a plaque to him there. He wasn't there.
Wow! Look at that! I didn't know that, and he didn't know my material at all. This was not a setup, I promise you. But that is so amazing. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I mean, so you've never been to Labrador, Canada?
No, never.
Oh, it's tremendous. I mean, like, lots of dogs in Labrador, Canada. Like, so many dogs. But like, legal weed, free healthcare, so many dogs. Mm-hmm. Like, it's an exorbitant amount of dogs. Anyway.
Dalmatians?
No, I think Labradors.
Oh.
Yeah. Last month, President Donald Trump was named Time Magazine Person of the Year. We missed that news. This news ruffled some feathers, but if you think about it, who really had a better year than Trump? I mean, I get that he's a 34-time convicted felon and all, but in spite of that, he still played the game and won the presidency, and he deserves it. Second term as leader of the free world. I mean, I don't want him to be named Person of the Year, but he's the first convicted felon to be named Person of the Year. But a guy I used to work with years ago is in Bayside right now, up in Leesburg in North Jersey. You want to know something? He's not even in the running for next year's Man of the Year. Not even on the ballot. And I think that's not fair. Because one felony. One felony, not 34. But I get it, leader of the free world is a pretty sweet accomplishment. So, but Daryl makes some remarkable chili. It's like life-changing eats. Like, you have no idea. You don't know what you've been eating until you had Daryl's chili. But, some people have warped sense of values, I guess. President is more important, I guess. But in recent art news, a previously lost painting representing 19th century black culture and black wealth and high culture in Philadelphia is now on display at the Historical Society of Philadelphia after being bought for $10 at a suburban thrift store. We reached out to Andy Robbins, the man who stumbled upon the priceless artwork and purchased it for $10. He's a white guy, by the way. It's important to understand this guy is white. He is very white. Like, he's the whitest guy. Like, if you look in the dictionary, white guy, yeah, it's Andy Robbins. That's he's there. But when we reached him for comment, he stroked his greasy thin mustache while flashing a villainous smile, then said in a menacing tone, "Wah-ha-ha-ha! What fools! Now I have even more wealth and good fortune! Wah-ha-ha-ha-ha!" Some people, Declan, I mean, just irredeemable. I mean, full disclosure, I mean, once he realized that he was in possession of the cultural and historically significant piece of art, he contacted he donated the artwork to the National Historical Society of Philadelphia. So I guess Andy's a good egg after all. Speaking of Andy, Disney and Pixar announced their intention to enter the dating world business. I don't know how I feel about that. I have kids. It's messed up. But the site would offer its members with pickup lines to help facilitate successful dating. I guess the thought here is that young people don't really know how to get things started. Picture this. A group of young adults are on Scepter returning from watching the Eagles, and a boy is talking to a girl. She asks him, "What's your name?" He says, "Andy." She then responds, "Oh, like in Toy Story." He then takes out a Sharpie and confidently grabs her foot and says, "Let me write my name on your shoe and I'll take you home with me." And that works for some people. But like, at least that's what Disney is hoping.
Well, there's smaller shoes. You got smaller shoes on, so.
Kids these days, man. I mean, I guess businesses these days. But in sporting news, former New England Patriots coach Jared Mayo decided to play cards over watching film after the Patriots lost to the Cardinals a few weeks ago. It was reported, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because it was reported earlier this week, the Patriots' decision to move on from Jared Mayo after his first unsuccessful year as head coach was largely influenced by the fact that instead of watching tape of the mistakes they made with the other coaches, he went into the back and played cards with his players. And yes, it was a meaningless game. It was December 15th. They were already out of playoffs, but when reached for comment, Mayo said, "I guess keeping my job wasn't in the cards." Which that's a horrible pun. I get it, but like, I gotta take what I gotta take. In entertainment news, this is better, I promise. The 82nd annual Golden Globes Award ceremony took place a few Sundays back. It was hosted by roast queen Nikki Glaser. Everyone feels she did a great job. Well, almost everyone. There was that Glenn Powell joke. She said, "Glenn Powell has had a great year. He's been in everything. Twisters, Hitman, My Head, while I'm having sex with my boyfriend." Yeah, it was a good joke, but yeah, I guess some people are just triggered now. Nikki Glaser's boyfriend was heard shouting from the crowd, "Keep my fucking girlfriend's sexual fantasies name out your fucking mouth." Thanks a lot, Will. Comedy at award show. It used to be a safe thing, but seriously, Nikki Glaser, she's a genius. She's like Jeff Ross, the roast king Jeff Ross. But she's a skinny, beautiful woman, not a salted peanut in slacks. Which is what Jeff Ross is. And she's funny. He's not that funny. In local news, there was a massive power outage across much of Kensington earlier this month. Greater than 1,500 residents were thrust into total darkness in the midst of the deep freeze that we've experienced in Philly in January. When reached for comment, Joseph DiCento, head of Night Watch organization near Somerset Station in Kensington, said, "Well, we try to keep the lights on with heroin and blowjobs, but I guess it's back to the drawing board." I guess heroin and oral sex doesn't work like that. I don't know the science, but the more you know, like rainbows and shit. You remember that? Like the rainbow, yeah, that's great. In other local news, Macy's has announced another big store. This is sad. Macy's has announced another big store closing. Yeah, news is that the beloved iconic Macy's department store in Center City, Philadelphia is closing down for good. Councilman Mark Squilla he joined Good Day Philadelphia a few Fridays back to discuss the closing of the iconic location. When asked what's next for the building at 1300 Market Street, Squilla said, and I quote, I can't say I can't say for sure what will become of the building after the closing. Though I can say it's safe to assume it will not be a Macy's. He then did a little dance and ran off the set. I mean,
I was in there 2 days ago. It's like a Ross. It's like a Ross in there.
It's crazy.
What's going to happen to the organ?
I have no idea.
Beautiful organ, biggest organ.
Maybe Velvet Snow could
on
make
the
some
East
use
Coast,
of
I
it.
think.
Inherited.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I would like to hear you play that organ. Like, Ray does some really great stuff. But I mean, it affects me personally because like I went there as a kid and I, with my brothers and my parents, when they were still with us, and for every indoor lighting in the Christmas tree every year. I took all three of my kids there when they were young too, and and I even shoplifted there once or twice, years ago. But
And there was some serious looting at Ross the other day too.
yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, but nobody noticed.
Yeah, well, yeah, 'cause
Nobody. It took 3 days for somebody to notice they've been looting there.
this is fun. In world and travel news, in Tulum Jungle, Mexico, a private jet once used by famed Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar has been turned into an Airbnb. According to a local travel site, the cost of a stay there is almost $6,000 a night. That's 6,000 US dollars. Unless you really know how to suck dick well, then the rates can be adjusted, negotiated. In Tulum Jungle, Mexico, a private jet once owned by famed Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar has been turned into an Airbnb. According to a local travel site, the cost of a stay there is almost 6,000 US dollars a night. 8,000. I don't know what that was. Let me get back to this. According to a local travel site, the cost of a stay there is almost 6,000 US dollars a night, which can be paid off by being a courier of a duffel bag filled with a mysterious white powder on your trip back to the States. This is the last one. In Tulum Jungle, Mexico, a private jet once used by famed Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar has been turned into an Airbnb. According to a local travel site, the cost of a stay there is almost 6,000 US dollars a night. That's a lot of money. Unless you are related to Paul Rubens, the actor who played Pee Wee Herman, then your stay is free. Because he probably did a lot of coke.
Yeah.
'Cause
That's it.
he's probably top business. And this one, finally, and this one's just trouble. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg has rolled back the company's anti-hate speech policy, citing the changing political atmosphere as the catalyst. Now, this doesn't mean that white guys can post images and videos in blackface, nor does it mean that a user can openly claim that the Holocaust wasn't real. However, and this one is an actual quote from the Zuck himself, we do allow allegations of mental illness or abnormality when based on gender or sexual orientation. So on Facebook, it's A-OK for a user to post a commentary of a law-abiding homosexual's page that the homosexual in question is a crazy asshole or something far worse. Like, I don't know why. Like progress means movement forward, not, Anyway, I fret that soon the F word, the dreaded F word we all hate, is going to make its triumphant return. What about retard? Are we calling people retard again? Because, like, that was frowned upon. Mm-hmm. And, like, I mean, is it 1994? Mm-hmm. It was like, I was 11. It's fine. But I hope not. Progress is a good thing. Just, Jesus help us, man.
Like everything's divisive or divisive.
Yeah, I like the way he said divisive.
We can't even agree on how to say divisive.
Okay, so that's what's in the doing. Now,